because we'll be able to. I'll be wanting to use these guys on the way back through the crater. So now for materia, we'll leave that on there. So a couple of things with the whole bit with Kylo Ren. First of all, that epic lens flare at the beginning there. Visually, it looks just awesome. Really, you probably couldn't have made this movie and had it look this good even 5 years ago, maybe not even 2 years ago. It's just the technology and the power of computers has gotten to the point where you can make pretty much weave in CGI with practical effects. Like, for example, the TIE Fighter, when that Stormtrooper's in that crashes on Jakku, that to me looked like it was a practical model with some CG elements in the background. But we'll see. I remember somebody else also mentioning that they thought that it was also a model. It looked kind of like a model. But I really like the kind of overall theme with Kylo Ren. It's very Darth Vader-ish, but at the same time, it looks a little more extreme, if you will. I also like, I freaking got chills when I saw Darth Vader's mask. It just kind of fit in so perfectly with the theme that they were going with. Also, the music was just nice at that point. Let's see, W Magic. Oh, we get that. Max these out too, don't we? Dang. Okay, we'll add that. Let's see. Look, I don't think we did Luck Plus yet. HP Absorb hasn't even begun yet. We started an added cut, but didn't get very far on that. What else? That's right, we mastered that. Titan material. So we'll do Alexander. Let's see, on him, we're gonna put. Which he gets sorted by what's mastered and what's not. But I like the idea that this kind of hardline group forms up out of the, essentially the smoking wreckage of what was the Empire, or the Republic / Empire, and irregardless of what happens at the end of Return of the Jedi, Kylo Ren essentially wants to carry on with what Palpatine and Vader were doing in the original series. Essentially going through, wiping out all the remnants of the Jedi, crushing any resistance movements, and also kind of rewriting history, which is also referenced shortly after that in the Millennium Falcon bit, when Rey asks, if all the stories about what happened were true, and if they really happened, and Han replies with yes. It was interesting, that little spot there, because I think he was either in that exact area, or Harrison Ford was in that exact area, or somewhere near in that part of the Millennium Falcon when he essentially called the Force a bunch of crap. So it was just kind of a lightning bolt moment, just to see that him acknowledging that it wasn't all crap. It actually did happen, did exist. There were Sith, there were Jedi, Force is real. Again, another goosebumps moment. I don't even know what all materia I have. I guess Ultima. Full cure, definitely. We haven't done that one yet. Contain, yeah, we haven't done that one yet. W item, I don't know. We've got it here, and wow. 229,000 still to go. Yeah, might as well. It doesn't really matter if these guys just, we have it on them. They're going to get a little bit of AP from all the stuff we're going to kill, but it's not really going to give them too much, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. It's just for when we go back to the crater. Do I want to put another all in there, or do we just want to do, like, Hades or something? Let's go ahead and put Destruct instead of that. Do I have any other mastered stuff? I don't think I do. I took all the other material off of them. And it also makes you wonder exactly what, and this is another reason why I think that Jakku is part of the Outer Rim worlds, is that the closer you get to Coruscant, the more unmythical the Jedi, whole Force thing becomes, because that's right where it all happened at, and I guess also kind of probably around Geonosis a bit too, since there was that whole thing there, but everywhere else I think that's way out in the boonies. All they're gonna have heard about that is rumors, and then paired up with whatever propaganda the First Order / Empire / Republic put out about the whole event. So I think that kind of gives it a little more credence that it could be a more Outer Rim world. The fact that they didn't think that it actually happened, that was just all a myth. So I think at this point in the lore and the canon, whatever you want to call it, the story, the plot, just based on the name of the movie, I'm assuming that at this point the Force is essentially, the Force has gone into hibernation, if you will. There's no new Sith or Jedi or whatever, no Force-sensitive people being, I don't want to say born, but being, awakened, if you will, I guess. And this movie's about events that happen that cause the Force to, spin back up into being, to start, working on people. So yeah, that was the Millennium Falcon part. I think the next section of that is seeing the Millennium Falcon going into hyper speed or light speed, whatever they call it. I think that effect is just awesome. It blew me away because it was just such an awesome effect. Definitely more modern day. Oh wow. The first thing I find is the one type of chocobo I need. Cool. Now let's see if I can actually... capture before it can run away. Cool. Now I have to go make sure that what gender these guys are. Of course, you can't really tell anyway, but so yeah, we'll get off it, send it to the ranch. To be honest, we won't do anything. So the other ones are near Rocket Town, like I said, so we're gonna head over there. Now these guys are gonna show up with check. I've had this guide since I think 1999. So this guide, that Sprady guide I had, was like a frigging, it's like a dusty old tome in terms of just what you could compare it to. So Rocket Town, and we want the Great Chocobo. So it's either gonna be with 2 Valrins or it's gonna be with 2 Q Vildans. So those are the 2 types of battles you get into where you have a Great Chocobo. You need 2 of those. So after that we get into some more action oriented scenes where we see TIE fighters and X-Wings fighting and all that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you right now, J.J. Abrams goes all out with the frigging action battle scenes, whatever, just from watching the new Star Trek movies. So those are just going to be epic. I know for a fact that he favors doing practical explosions whenever possible. And I think you can pretty much tell that from the trailer, because there's a couple times where there's explosions in there. Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, I don't want to use Cloud, because he'll hit everything and will make the Chocobo mad. I was gonna say I better have killed it. So I'm not doing a blow for blow kind of thing, but gauntlet gained? Really? She gained her next limit break. So the next bit that I found interesting was when you see Kylo Ren surrounded by those other people. Now there's a couple of theories, and I subscribe that these are the Knights of Ren, which is where Kylo Ren gets his name from. I don't really know much about them, but some people say that maybe they're just some sort of elite guard. Other people say they're the Knights of Ren. I think they're the Knights of Ren. Just because there's supposed to be 7 of them, and there's 7 of them, including Kylo Ren, in that couple of seconds of screen that you see them in. It also fits in with the supposition that, and some of the lore about the group, that they're Force sensitive or something like that, but that one of them supposedly is more in line, a more affinity with the Force than the rest, and that would be Kylo Ren. Yes, that's 3. Bloodfest. Let me see. I don't know if we've seen Bloodfest yet. Let's see. Actually, I should just take them all out, to be honest with you. Let's see, what's the next scene I can remember? So there's a part where we see R2-D2, and I am pretty much certain that the guy we see with R2-D2 is Luke Skywalker. There's just no way it couldn't be. They've got the mechanical robot hand. So this isn't one that we want, so we're just gonna run. I was gonna say, I think that's the other guy we're looking for, Valerian or whatever they're called. There's a part in the trailer where we see Rey kind of over some object or person. I think it's one of the main characters has gotten killed at that point. I'm not sure who though. I don't think it's, it could be, I don't know if it would be Solo, it might be Solo or Leia. I don't think it's Chewie though, but it's a main character. Ah, come on. Stupid Chocobo. Another one of these messed up groups. I was gonna do slash all. Probably gonna knock that Chocobo out. Oh, it's gonna run away anyway, so yeah. See what other parts. We do see Leia and Han. Han, however you pronounce it. Personally, I think it's Han Solo, not Han Solo. But I do think that he shot first. Ah, another crap one. I was gonna run this time. Swing back over to these. These tracks seem to be just gold over here. So then there was that one scene where we see that probably what's the final battle for the movie. And we see the Starkiller base opening up. I thought it was interesting they decided to call it Starkiller. You know, hint hint, wink wink. Maybe something to do with Force Unleashed somehow. I don't know. That's, the main character of the game was Starkiller. Base is called Starkiller. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Abrams lifted the name from the game to use in the movie. Who knows? But, and apparently it's like some sort of super ultra mega uber Death Star. That's kind of like, essentially it's built into a planet's, essentially taps into a planet's core. So essentially it's built to tap into the core of the planet, so that should be epic. Damn. Just can't kill these guys fast enough. Plus these greens are crap. I think it's because of such a high level. There's a specific formula that's used to determine how long those things last. And I think it has to do with your level or something. I need to take that stupid thing off the cloud. / all. So it wouldn't be a problem if I hadn't had that. Let's replace it with Hades. Wherever the hell it's at. There it is. And then we come to the final scene of the movie that I remember. Oh yeah, this is a crap chocobo too. Which is the fight scene between Kylo Ren and the Stormtrooper guy. Some people have debated whether it's actually Kylo Ren or one of the other characters. I think it's Kylo Ren though. He doesn't have his mask on or anything. So there's an interesting theory around Kylo Ren, and I don't really have any opinion on it, but it would be interesting if it were true. And it kind of is borne out by some of the stuff you hear in the video. And it's that Kylo Ren is not specifically, and actually also J.J. Abrams has mentioned about the fact that Kylo Ren's not actually a Sith. He's a Force sensitive person, but he's not actually a Sith. But the theories are that Kylo Ren is kind of obsessed with Darth Vader and the stuff that he was trying to do initially, and has been going around, essentially picking up, trying to find artifacts from from that time period, from back when the Empire was wiping out the Jedi and whatnot. And found, Vader's remains. That's kind of also a thing that kind of leads to that, credence to that theory, is the fact that in the trailer you see Vader's mask all mangled and whatnot, melted. So it kind of leads me to believe that he was collecting parts of things like that. Damn. Watch I get stomped. Maybe we could stop the chocobos. This last one's turning out to be a real pain to get. Strings don't work worth a crap. I think these ones don't work as far as getting them to eat long. These are more used for breeding, I think. They don't have any longevity on them for capturing. These guys aren't even worth fighting, really. But yes, that's an interesting theory that I think may be true. But it's also true that he's a Force-sensitive person because he built his own lightsaber. although it's pretty unsophisticated and really kind of jerry-rigged looking. There are also some theories that the Knights of Ren are actually an order that predates the Empire and the Republic and the Sith and Jedi. Essentially, like the original, maybe an original group of Force-sensitive people, or perhaps even the first splinter group from, because originally there were only Jedis. And then the Sith were a splinter group from the Jedi that didn't agree with the basic philosophy that the Jedi were using. And that's how the Sith came into being. So there's thoughts that the Knights of Ren are some kind of, are either that splinter group or some sort of offshoot of that splinter group or something. There's just a lot of different theories floating around that people have gleaned from watching the trailer and reading all the expanded books and whatnot. I think it's possible that could be the case, but at the same time I think it's more likely that there's some group that's risen out of the remnants of the Sith cultists. I'm like throwing every little bit of bloody canon that I know as far as the cultists go, like from essentially the group from the Jedi Knight Academy, Jedi Knight Academy, or Jedi Academy, or whatever it was, one of the original games from the early 90s, it's early 90s or something, mid-90s. So there's a group of cultists that wanted to revive Ragnos. I think that the Knights of Ren might be some sort of remnant of that group or something. But it's just a lot of different theories floating around about them. But the trailer looks awesome. It's really high visual quality. Really like the CGI bits that were there. It's really top-notch, high-quality stuff. We're always going to have people that, bash CGI. But to be honest, in this day and age, to do things all practical would cost more than what to do CGI, to be honest. Just because it becomes so cheap to do CGI these days. Like back in the heydays of CGI, back when ILM was first founded, it cost, 100, maybe even 10,000 times more to do the same thing you can do for like maybe $1,000, $2,000 these days. Might have been like, $10,000, $50,000 back then. And it would have, 10 to like the 7th power quality these days than back then. That's just how far CGI has come in the past 30 years or so. And really the story sounds like it's going to be pretty good. I'm cautiously optimistic that this trilogy might surpass the original trilogy. It just seems like Abrams is going in for the kill. One thing I hope, though, now I'm going to do some speculation of my own. I hope to hell that Disney does not have the Rebels win in the first movie. They should try and break with what Lucas did in the first trilogy, and to a certain extent the second trilogy as well. What should happen is that it should be more of kind of a... Because the way I'm looking at this is that the Empire's gotten just crazy powerful. Jedi have been gone for 30 years. The Sith have been gone for that amount of time. So the Empire / First Order has had all this time to kind of build up their armies, their militaries, all the propaganda out there, as far as, you know, what really happened, you know, all that time ago. The First Order sounds like it's even expanded beyond even what, you know, the wildest dreams of the Empire could ever have aspired to, in terms of their grip on the galaxy. So I don't think it's reasonable to expect or to assume or for it to actually happen that the rebels would be able to, you know, defeat them in the first movie. Again, remember that there aren't any Jedi, and I'm pretty sure that Luke's not going to play any kind of part in this first movie, other than maybe a small cameo or some sort of teaser somewhere. But I'm pretty sure that there aren't even going to be any Jedi. I don't think that... I'm going to kind of go against the grain as far as that goes here and say that I don't believe that there are any Sith or... Oh, Christ, not that guy. I didn't get it. Damn. Screw it. I don't think that Kylo Ren is a Sith. I don't think that the Stormtrooper guy becomes a Jedi. Because you don't have to be a Jedi or even Force sensitive to use a lightsaber. What you have to be a Jedi or Force sensitive to do is to fight a lightsaber battle, a lightsaber duel on the level of said Jedis or Force sensitive people. But you can anybody can use a lightsaber, as was evidenced by the fact that Han was able to use it to cut open the Tauntaun in the second movie, Empire Strikes Back. So I think whereas Kylo Ren is definitely Force sensitive, I don't think he's a Sith. I think he's playing the part of a Sith. Like I said, he's obsessed with Darth Vader, and he's essentially kind of tries to, with the way he dresses, tries to intimidate through mental, kind of a mental assault or whatever you want to call it. Tries to mentally psych out everyone around him by kind of conjuring up the legends of Darth Vader and whatnot by the way he's dressing, with the mask and all that kind of stuff, and the voice modulation. But I don't think he's an actual Sith. And obviously, J.J. Abrams said he wasn't a Sith, so I don't think there are any Jedi at this point. I think the point of the whole movie is about the Force reawakening, about events happening that cause the Force to reawaken. But up until the point that happens in the movie, probably towards the end, and this is why I think this is what's going to happen, I think that the Force is essentially dead. And that it's more of a moral kind of moral front that they're fighting against the First Order on, not one of duty as far as the Force goes. Now, the reason I think that the title is Force Awakens, The Force Awakens, or whatever it's called, is because, and this is why I think what's going to happen. I think that the First Order is going to be successful in using the Star Killer, or Star Destroyer, or whatever they call it, Star Killer base. They're going to end up destroying the solar system by blowing up a star, causing a supernova. And it may be the home system of the rebels. So similar to what Grand Tarkin did to Alderaan, except on a more grandiose scale. And I think that it's this destruction that causes the Force to reawaken. That's just my theory on it. Because I think that the Force influences events, but I also believe that events can influence the Force. So after Vader and Palpatine are killed, we don't know what happens to Lucas. It's assumed, or rather, maybe not assumed, but what I assume is that after the events, Luke goes into hiding and essentially becomes like a Yoda, if you will. Doesn't think that there's anybody out there that's in tune, tuned with the Force that can become a Jedi.